6 months ago, I was made aware of a situation so devastating that at first I refused to believe it. However, through the concerted efforts of our brightest scientists, we have confirmed its validity. The world, as we know it, will soon come to an end.
This film depicts a series of catastrophic events triggered by the Earth's shifting crust, leading to global destruction. The narrative follows several characters as they attempt to survive an impending apocalypse. 2012 is a 2009 American science fiction disaster film directed by Ronald Emmerich, starring John Cusack in the lead role.
In 2009, American geologist Adrian Hemsley visits astrophysicist Satam in East India and learns that a new type of neutrino from a solar flare is heating the Earth's core. Returning to Washington, D.C., Adrian alerts White House Chief of Staff Carl Enheiser and President Thomas Wilson. In 2010, over 46 nations begin building 9 arks in the Himalayas, in Tibet, and storing artifacts in secure locations. Nima, a Buddhist monk, is evacuated with his grandparents, and his brother Tenzin joins the Ark project. Additional funding is secretly raised by selling tickets to the rich for €1 billion per person.
Has His Highness had an opportunity to study the dossier?
You must understand, I have a very big family, Mr.
Isaacs.
$1 billion is a lot of money.
I'm afraid the amount is in euros, Your Highness.
In 2012, struggling science fiction writer Jackson Curtis is a chauffeur in Los Angeles for Russian billionaire Yuri. Jackson's former wife Kate and their children Noah and Lily live with Kate's boyfriend, plastic surgeon, and amateur pilot Gordon. Jackson takes Noah and Lily camping in Yellowstone National Park. After hopping over the fenced-off area, they find Yellowstone Lake dried up and run into the United States Army. They are caught and brought to Adrian.
So what happened to the lake?
Well, that's what we're trying to find out. We think the entire area has become unstable. I think you should take your kids and leave, Mr. Curtis. You're not by any chance the Jackson Curtis wrote Farewell Atlantis, are you?
The very same.
Adrian is pleasantly surprised as he's read Jackson's book. After sending them off, Adrian receives news confirming the Earth's crust becoming destabilized and informs Carl. When Jackson and his kids return to the campsite, they meet conspiracy theorist and radio personality Charlie, who later tells Jackson of Charles Hapgood's theory that polar shift and Mesoamerican long count calendar predicts a 2012 phenomenon and the worldwide catastrophes, and that the world's governments silence anyone attempting to warn the public.
First, the stock market would go. Then, the economy, boom! The dollar, boom! And then pandemonium in the streets. War, genocide, boom, boom, boom!
Bullshit. Nobody could keep that big a secret, Charlie. Somebody blow the whistle.
And every once in a while, some poor little sucker tries. Well, like these guys. Boom! Boom! Every one of these guys, dead, dead, dead!
Jackson gets the kids home and is called to drop off Yuri's kids at the Santa Monica airport. Despite his initial skepticism, Jackson starts to believe in Charlie's warning when Yuri's sons talk about the big ships. So Jackson rushes home to pick up his family just as the quake begins. As the entire Pacific coast suffers a horrific earthquake, Jackson manages to get the family back to the airport and they safely take off on a small plane and witnesses devastation on the ground. They fly to Yellowstone to find Charlie and retrieve the map of the Ark's location. Charlie remains behind to finish his broadcast and is killed by debris. Jackson, nearly falling off the van, manages to grab the map and begins chasing down the plane.
Jackson, run!
We're running out of runway! For God's sakes, Kate, pull him off!
Jackson, reach for my hand! Jackson, Mickey, come on!
All right, buckle in, here we go! Faster, faster.
They just make it clear out of all the debris. The map reveals the arcs are in China. Realizing they need a larger plane to fly to Asia, the group lands south of downtown Las Vegas to search for one. Meanwhile, Adrian, Carl, and first daughter Laura fly to the Arcs, while President Wilson remain in the White House to address the nation. Jackson runs into Yuri again, along with his girlfriend Tamara and their pilot Sasha. Needing another person to pilot the big plane, they volunteer Gordon. Sasha and Gordon fly the families out as the volcanic ash from the caldera envelops the Las Vegas Valley. Billions die in the disaster worldwide, including President Wilson. Upon reaching the Himalayas, the engine malfunctioned. As the plane touches down on the glacier, the party uses a Bentley car stored in the hold to escape, while Sasha continued to pilot the plane.
Come on, start! Start up with him, mother!
Engine start. Voice control. Sound me on it.
Sasha is killed when the jet goes over a cliff. The survivors are spotted by Chinese Air Force helicopters, which takes only Yuri and his sons, the 3 Ark ticket bearers, leaving the rest of them behind. The abandoned group later encounters Nima, who, with his own family, takes them to the Arks, where they stow away on Ark 4 with Tenzin's help. With a mega tsunami approaching, Carl orders the loading gates closed, though most people have not boarded. Adrian persuades the captain and the other surviving world leaders to allow passengers aboard the Arks.
Everybody out there has died in vain if we start our future with an act of cruelty. What will you tell your children? What will they tell theirs?
If my father were here, he would open the gates.
One by one, the heads of state decide to open the gates. People rushed in. Yuri pushes his son on just before the gates close, but falls to his death. The gates close after survivors are on board, injuring Tenzin and crushing Gordon. Tenzin's impact driver, used to access the ship, gets lodged in the gate's mechanism, preventing it from closing completely and disabling the ship's engines. As the tsunami strikes, the Ark starts flooding as it is set adrift, heading for Mount Everest. Adrian rushes to clear the gears, but watertight doors close, trapping the stowaways and drowning Tamara. Noah and Jackson attempt to dislodge the tool.
Affirmative, Captain.
Anton, start the engine.
Aye, aye, Captain. Full reverse.
The crew regains control of the Ark, while Jackson and Noah make it back safely. 27 days later, the waters are receding. The Ark approaches the Cape of Good Hope, where the Drakensberg Mountains are the highest mountain ranges on Earth. Adrian and Laura begin a relationship, while Jackson and Kate reconcile.
2012 is known for its spectacular visual effects and large-scale disaster sequences. While criticized for its scientific inaccuracies, the film delivers intense action and a portrayal of human spirit resilience in the face of overwhelming natural disasters. 接下来我们揭晓今天的学习内容。The expression blow the whistle is an idiom that can have several meanings depending on context. Number 1, in the literal sense, a referee blowing the whistle in sports to enforce the rules. Number 2, figuratively, blowing the whistle means to expose wrongdoing, often used figuratively to describe an act of exposing or reporting unethical, illegal, or inappropriate behavior. Whistleblowers are individuals who speak out about wrongdoings within an organization or industry. For example, the employee decided to blow the whistle on the company's fraudulent activities. The expression die in vain is a poignant and somber phrase used to convey that a person's death was without purpose, significance, or meaningful impact. It suggests that the sacrifice made or the loss of life did not lead to any positive outcome or meaningful change. For example, many brave soldiers died in vain during that war, as the conflict ultimately didn't bring about the desired peace. And that's it for this episode of Cinephile. You can find more on the FUNDAY website. Let's make every day a fun day.
Wasn't it also decided that people have the right to fight for their lives best way they can? After we get everyone on board, Adrian. I think that's wrong. What? Just want to tell everyone they're doomed?